from Jet Set Blondie. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. I'm very excited to share with you this creepy and somewhat overwhelming experience that me and my sister had when we went to London. I love history, even parts of history that are a little darker. And one of those pieces of history that has always fascinated me is the Jack the Ripper murders. Now I know it's really gruesome and really morbid, but it always has fascinated me that this man was able to get away with these horrific and horrendous murders, and to this day they still don't actually know who it was. I personally believe I know who it was because I watched a documentary once and I was convinced. I'll tell you who I think Jack the Ripper is. Scrolling along the bottom, that is Jack the Ripper, but it's a secret. Anyways, so we went to London and it was on one of the things that I wanted to go do was to see the Jack the Ripper Museum. It is off of Cable Street in London. It's walking distance from the Tower of London. So you go to the Tower of London, and then we just used our GPS like map walking, and we were able to find it. It's like a 5-10 minute walk from Tower of London to the Jack the Ripper Museum. If you buy tickets to the museum, a lot of times you can double up, and then they also have a Jack the Ripper walk that leaves from the museum at 4 p.m. Really wanted to go, but we went to Jack the Ripper Museum on like one of our last days in London, and we weren't able to go and do the walk, but maybe next time I'll go because I'm sure it'd be fascinating to go and like see where the murders happened. I know, I'm really weird. If you are gonna do both and do the walk as well as see the museum, I recommend you see the museum first so that you understand the history and what you're gonna be hearing about a little bit more. Tickets in US dollars for the walk and the museum are about $21, and for just the museum it is $13.29. And then if you're doing it in British pounds, it is £16 for the museum and the walk, and then just £10 for just the museum. There are 5 floors in the museum, so you come and you enter and you're kind of in like the gift shop where you buy your tickets. They have one floor that shows one of the murders. They have another floor that looks like a Victorian England parlor styled out of what they think Jack the Ripper may have lived in. They also have a floor that has a bunch of evidence from the police investigations of the actual Jack the Ripper murders and the trials. So they have like the cop's whistle and notebook, and like, so that's kind of cool. And then on the top floor, it's this really creepy recreation of one of the victims' bedrooms, because the victims for Jack the Ripper, they were all like poor women in East London. Most of them are believed to be prostitutes, so they weren't necessarily women of high society, and that's why for that area of London it was terrifying. And then if you go down from the first floor where you enter in the basement, they have like pictures of the actual bodies and stuff, and it's kind of like a little memorial. It's really deep, really dark. I would not recommend bringing children to see the Jack the Ripper Museum. I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer, and even though like it's a lot of mannequins and whatever, it is a very dark concept, so I don't know that I would take my family to go and see it. The museum is not big by any means. It's very small, so don't expect this big extravagant museum. It's very small and quaint, but if you're into creepy, morbid history, kind of like I am, I definitely recommend it. So here's the video of the Jack the Ripper Museum. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you ever find yourself in London and you end up at the Jack the Ripper Museum, let me know what you think. If you have an inkling as to who you think Jack the Ripper was, leave it below in the comment. I would love to hear. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you come again and watch some of my other weird videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I think that's all I have to say about the Jack the Ripper Museum. So, okay, bye.